Hey everybody, Dan Marc-On here with Marc-On Shooting. Going to break down a little bit of stuff that I use when I travel for security, for safety, my friends, my family, obviously myself, and kind of give you guys a heads up on what's going on. Now keep in mind all this stuff I show you, you have to be prepared mindset and verbally on what to say and what to do. That being said, let's begin. So we're going to go to the airport. We're probably not going to walk into the airport with this, all right? Or this in your pocket, because you're going to lose it. Now you can, if you're going to a friendly state, you can fly with your firearm. Please be advised, know what the laws are. You cannot fly to another country with it. And remember, if you're going into places like California or the Five Boroughs, which is John F. Kennedy or LaGuardia, you cannot fly out of those airports with that gun because you have to claim it when you fly out. If you do not, you will be arrested. And if you have it in the city, you will be arrested. So please do not do that. Take our concealed carry class and learn the laws. That being said, what do I usually carry on an airplane? This bag here, I just flew to Florida, and I carried this bag in Florida, and I also carried it in the Dominican Republic. Back a couple months ago, I carried it in Vegas, whatever. So this bag goes with me all the time. Maybe not this exact one, this one did, but one like it, okay? It's just a regular over-the-shoulder bag. So some of the things that I carry in it, and obviously I represent, so I got my patches in there. In one of my pockets, this is a newer bag for me. Reach down here, I have a little tool here. You know what is, it has a little pocket clip on it. Do not carry it in your pocket when you're going through the airport. But what this is just a striking tool. So you come down on the arms, on the forearms, it'll make somebody release, it'll probably break a bone. You can take this one here through the knuckle, and my hands are really big. Obviously striking the head, the soft tissue area, that's one of them. We have some of these at the shop usually, and we can get them in. This here is just my Sharpie, right? So it's obviously a brand new one because I gave one away when I was on my trip. So this is just my Sharpie. It's a Second Amendment. It says on it right there. And you pick it out, it looks just like a Sharpie. That does not write or anything. It's just a stick pen is all it is. So it's, again, soft tissue, throat, neck, that type of stuff. This is in my bag next to a pen. Just a regular pen, that's a Marc-On pen. So I zip that one back up. I go to my main compartment. Some of the stuff I carry in my main compartment are things like a battery for recharging batteries and things like that. I always carry a metal straw, especially if you're flying to a place like California, stuff they're not gonna have their straws. So you can pull out your own metal straw, mix up your drink and use it. It works very good as a puncture tool as well. You hold on to it, you strike somebody, whether it's a disruption, a terrorist on a plane, a situation in an airport, where you're traveling to, whether it's a sunny destination or something like that. This bag's with me. I can utilize this in any of the soft tissue areas. And soft tissues, I mean neck, under the arms, the groin area, that type of stuff, rib cages. Also inside of this bag, I also have my Glock pen, which is pretty steady. It is plastic, but it's pretty good. So a little puncture area tool there. And then I always have my knife my pen that we sell here. But it's just a stainless pen. You open it up, and it is actually a letter opener. So yes, these were in my bag usually when I fly. Now, some of the other things I may pack or I put in my bag, we'll move that to the side, is my little black box. Many of you have seen this over the years when I used to teach. So one thing that I like to carry are these. They're handmade wooden Kubotans that were made by a friend of mine. We used to sell them for like, I don't know, 20 bucks or something like that. But you put this in your purse or in your bag or something like that, and they're gonna be like, what is this? Now again, you have to be mindset on what you're saying. If somebody asks me what this is when it's in my bag, I'll look them dead in the eye and be like, I don't think my sexual orientation is none of your business. And they'll drop this and put it back in my bag, and I'll go about my way. However, This is a great tool. It's wooden. It doesn't pop on metal detectors or anything like that. It isn't real pointed. It is a blunt force striking object. So in this bag here, I might have a couple extra. I usually fly with my brush, just my beard brush, and I've flown with it for quite some time. I usually pack it now, just because I use it when I go places. However, when I'm out in town and stuff, I'll put this in my bag, because when I pop it out, it's a 4-sided plastic dart. All right, that just goes back in there. And I got one of them confiscated. I don't know, coming back from Vegas or someplace like that. They confiscated it. A place Tara and I, maybe it was Miami. But anyway, I was like, I just played dumb, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Oh, look at that. Oh, is that what happens there? I go, a buddy of mine, oh my gosh. I go, look, I've been carrying this. And a buddy of mine, I said, buddy of mine gave it to me as a gift, and I've been using it now and traveling with it. So yes, I go, please, it's yours. These things cost like 15, 20 bucks here at the shop. Great, they're utilized. You can use them. We also have one of these. These are sporks. Everybody remembers these from back in the KFC days or back when in the service. They're made by K-Bar. You can use them as a blunt object as well. But then inside of it, I know it opens up, is a little knife in there. So if you're going to be traveling and you might want to be out in town and stuff and carry this with you then, that would be great. I probably wouldn't carry this one on an airplane just because. All right, but it's great to have out in town where you're in maybe locations that don't have clean silverware or something like that. You can utilize this. And then for protection, you got the knife in there. We carried a lot of these back in the day were these they're just fiberglass. And this was before the metal detector could pick up on them, or you had to do the full body scan. These would be in our boots or our socks or waistband or something like that. And this is just, these are called Delta darts, and this was just a fiberglass letter opener, if you would. We still bring these with us sometimes, and we travel with them a little bit. They're easy just to dispose of. If the local police or local 5-0 pull you over, but I would not carry these through the airport. All right, but definitely safety on another level. I always carry Subaru keys, or a key that's pretty big. This is just a straight key that looks like a key, but it's a survival key. And what it's set for is just to put it in your knuckles and get some. Again, you can pick up old keys anywhere. You can go to a junkyard and look them at cars, and they got some big ass keys. I usually have 2 or 3 of these keys sitting around the house that I pack with. I might give them to the kids or something like that, just and show them how to use it. Just in case somebody grabs them, they can put it into their hands or in their arms or into the throat or that area or their eyes or something like that. So it's a big car key. Not everybody I shouldn't say, but a lot of people got these. They're regular pens, but they're striking tools on one end. Thing is, when you go through the airport, I'll tell you, you got to open them up, because otherwise they'll see that and they'll be like, nope, that can't go on there. So a lot of times I'll carry this in my pocket or something like that, just on a clip. So, but they have been starting to take some of these. It's kind of crazy. Here's another one of my pens. I lost the bottom half of the other one. So yeah, just pop it open. We do sell these here at Marc-On, and you can utilize them for whichever you like. I have a little EDC flashlight here. Works great, just like it ain't a puncture tool, but it is a blunt object. I love it. I always carry an EDC flashlight with me, even when I fly. This one's a little bigger than normal than this one as far as thickness. Sometimes size don't matter, I guess. But I always carry a flashlight with me, just because if you're going into a third world country or something like that, and I'm out to eat or out at a nightclub or something like that, and the lights go out or something happens or there's an attack on the establishment, I want to know where I'm going. People that I'm with are going to know where I'm going. And usually somebody with a flashlight hits it a couple times, people know that person probably knows what the hell's going on. They're going to follow you to safety. All right. So these are some of my things. Now, some people are like, well, what about, going someplace and this and that? One last thing, my tactical ice scraper. So it's basically a blade, and you hit somebody with this, you're slicing them wide open. But it also works as an ice scraper. So you can say, hey, it's just been in my purse or my bag. I'm from Wisconsin. I scrape windshields with that stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. And they let you keep it. The other thing with a lot of this stuff is you got to know how to handle local law enforcement if you're in the Dominican Republic or Mexico or St. Bart or St. Luke or wherever you may travel. You get pulled over and some of this stuff is like, you can't have that, that's a weapon, yada yada. That's why the brush is nice, these Couboutons are nice, the keys are nice. This is a fork, a regular fork. Okay, you see that? I don't carry this on the airplane, but I did bring this back from a resort I was at just because. But usually when I get to a resort, they're all inclusives, and basically I just bend it up, and that's where it's at. That's in my hand, and that's where that's at. You don't have to bend it. You don't have to get crazy, because obviously somebody picks this up and like, what's this? It's just like, oh, it's just my concealed fork. I usually do put at least 1 or 2 forks in my bag when I'm traveling out in town. Reason being, it's really easy just to pick up a fork out of your bag, and if somebody's trying to assault you or somebody's trying to pull you into an alley or something like that, you pull a fork out and you got 4 prongs. And again, throat, eyes, face, groin area, if it's, in that area. Females, if they're trying to attack you, the breast areas. And that's what this is for, all right? That's it, guys. Remember, mindset is a huge thing. Get to safety. Don't put yourself in those situations. Just a quick rundown on some EDC stuff that I like to carry when I'm out traveling or out and about when you can't carry your firearm or your normal everyday things. Again, and if you're in a third world country and you get crazy on some of this stuff and you have to use it, I would know the number to your U.S. consulate and where it's at. That's always a huge thing, okay? Again, we do these classes. These classes are here at Marc-On. It's called situational awareness classes. Come in, we do them for families, we do them for groups of people traveling, for groups of students. I've done several groups of students to Atlanta, across the pond and things like that, and did personal protection or situational awareness for them when we were over there. That way they could just have their everyday good time. But we want to teach you guys how this stuff can save your life in your own situation. Thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in. And this is Dan with Marc-On Shooting. Stay safe. God bless. Love you, and bye.